So we're gonna close this. I'm gonna snooze. And we're gonna go big like this. Okay. So that was the end of the Ks. I go to my library here. We played a couple different ones. We played... The first Unplayed game we played was Kaichu, a Kaiju dating sim. Honestly, it was pretty cute for what it was. It was just short. It also kind of had random questions, you know, like things that you couldn't necessarily predict. You could kind of make a decent guess. I picked the volcano lady to romance, and so you could kind of do like, oh, she's a volcano, so she's hot and passionate. Like you could kind of make guesses based on jokes and puns, but some of it was trial and error. And I did have a difficult time near the end of the game where I didn't realize that it was a forced fail state and that you then had to go and talk to people to go make it better. Um, so yeah, it was fine. It was short. Um, it was fine. Uh, Next game we did was Katamari Damacy Reroll. I mean, it's a good game. It got remade for a reason. I just couldn't play it because controller and my thumbs are bad. But I would say it's a classic game. If you haven't played it before, it's probably worth checking it out, seeing if you might like it. You roll a ball and collect junk. Kerbal Space Program. I could see that this was a well-designed game. It was a simulator of space flights with little aliens, just in case you messed up and killed them. You're not killing people, I think is why it's little aliens. But yeah, we spent that initial hour just on the tutorials, and like we didn't even get through all the tutorials. And I was like, this is a very deep game, very complex game. I think it is for people other than myself, but it is very well designed, and apparently they kept releasing updates for like 10 years. And now they finally have a sequel out. But like, yeah, seems like it was a very well-developed game, just not for me. Kingdom Two Crowns is one of the games that I enjoyed most of the Ks, even though it just kind of dropped you in and was like, no explanation really. Use money to get things and buy things and upgrade things and protect yourself from the bandits who will come and steal your money. Yeah, I enjoyed the art style of the game. It had it was something about it that was a little bit soothing. At the same time, I'm not sure if I would really revisit it because it didn't seem to have much of a plot. I did eventually build a ship, but I'm assuming you maybe go somewhere on the ship, maybe to a new area, or it unlocks something. But yeah, I guess I enjoyed my time with it, but I'm not sure if I would replay it, if that makes sense. Like, I don't feel compelled to find out what happens next because there wasn't really a plot. I'll also mention that I believe there is a 2-player mode, and maybe the game is developed more for that. That's why it's Kingdom Two Crowns. So if I go and look at the store page, yeah, it has a solo or co-op campaign. And I think the co-op campaign was what it was originally designed for, so it might be something that's more fun collaboratively. Kitaria Fables was sold to me as a farming game, but turns out the farming is kind of a mini game, and what you're actually doing is focused more on combat. So it's a little adventure game. It actually seemed like it had a plot behind it. There was some interesting political musings, and magic was outlawed, but then you're a magic user, but you work for the government, so you kind of have to keep it secret. And the bad magic things are coming back, and we don't know why. And yeah, I am a little bit curious about the plot of Kitaria Fables. Like, I would maybe want to play more for that reason. At the same time, I know I won't play more because I don't super care about the mechanics. I don't really care about the characters, walking around and talking to the characters, even though they're cute. They're very cute animals and stuff like that. But if you... And the combat is easy enough. It's easy enough for me to pick up on. But I don't feel compelled to slash a bunch of people or, monsters. And like it's just not like a fun thing for me. There isn't enough strategy involved, I guess. Trying to find that balance between easy enough to learn, but difficult enough to keep you engaged. Knights of Pen and Paper 2, I think, is my top pick for the Ks. I played that yesterday, played it for 3 hours. It is an RPG, but it is an easy to follow RPG. The rules are introduced slowly, on-ramps you very well, very hand-holdy. Might not be good for some people who don't like hand-holdy, but I like hand-holdy. And it was funny. It was amusing. The combat was enjoyable. Yeah, I enjoyed the different aspects of it, and I'm interested to see what happens in the plot. If I replay any of the ones from the Ks, it's going to be that one. And I could see myself doing that, because I do sort of want to find out what happens, and it has, funny meta humor and stuff. Like the last battle that we faced was basically against Mario and a couple of Toads, but, legally distinct. So that was pretty funny. Yeah, and then we just played Kyle is Famous, which had a bit of absurdist humor. Apparently I needed to try to eat the fridge. Like, maybe that would do something different. But, yeah, I just kind of started getting the same endings over and over, and kind of got bored within an hour of playing it, and I would not pay $10 for it. No. I mean, it's nice that I got it as part of a Humble Bundle and tried it out and stuff like that, but, yeah, I feel no desire to replay that. It's kind of similar to the Kaichu game, in which your actions don't always have predictable outcomes, and then it's like, okay, well, that's not really the choice that I made. Like, it reminds me of that one Pro ZD skit where it's like, oh yeah, choose the different options, and one's like hello, and one's like ... and one's, something else, and he picks hello and says, hello, jerk face, oh, I hate you forever, blah blah blah, and it's like, wait, what? That's not what only he doesn't say jerk face. But yeah, so I guess that's where we stand with the Ks, and that now being over, I suppose we can switch over to some Magic the Gathering. Let's do a draft. So I will be right back after I switch over stuff.